Hi. Hello everyone and welcome back to the only YouTube channel on the internet. I hope you had a great holiday season. I had a great time myself. As you can see, my hands are free, baby. The hands are free because I got a microphone. That's why I'm not holding my phone like I normally do. And I gotta say, it's pretty liberating. I can get up, I can walk around, I can do all sorts of stuff. Look, I don't have my, look, I can stand up. I can stand up and I'm not, there's no consequences. I can do all sorts of stuff. Look, oh, I'm hitting a boogie. Oh, I'm getting down. Oh, watch this. Oh, he got him. Oh my God, he's busting it down. Oh my God, who is this man? Who is this man with two hands? Two hands that he can use. Oh, that's right, it's me. I don't have to use one hand to hold a microphone anymore. Let's go. I'm pretty happy about this development. I can also now use my phone as my camera, so the quality of this video will also be a lot better. I even got like a fancy light on my computer behind the camera. I got like a tripod that the camera is on right now. Shit is getting fancy. But I also am a little bit sad because this is the last like huge One Piece reaction video I'm gonna be able to make because I'm all caught up. I'm all caught up, baby. We made it. I made it to the end of the grand line. Well, we're not at the end of the grand line, but I made it to the end of my grand line, which was when I caught up on chapter 1069. That's right. I know 170 is out now, but I caught up on 1069. Let's make that real clear here for a second, okay? I'm gonna talk about chapter 1070, but I caught up on chapter 1069. Make no mistake about it, okay? I'm not some plebeian who would catch up on 1070. I'm not one of those common folk, okay? I caught up on the funny haha sex number. Okay, don't forget it. There is somewhat of a crushing emptiness in my soul now that I can't just pick up One Piece whenever I want to, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just entering the void of nothingness now that I just can't, read 100 chapters of One Piece in 3 days. I'm sure that's something everyone experiences who is a normal person and who hasn't made One Piece their entire life for 6 months, right? Please tell me that someone else has experienced this crushing emptiness, please. I'm afraid I'm going crazy. Anyway, let's get into Egghead Island because boy, yo, howdy, it is spicy. Everyone was telling me that there was some crazy shit happening in Egghead Island, and you guys did not disappoint with that statement. There's some crazy stuff going down. So right when Wano ends, we get updated bounties for the rest of the crew after Luffy's huge thing where he's 3 billion bounties now, and I believe Nami's at like 300 million, Usopp's at 500 million, which is fucking crazy, Robin's almost at 1 billion, all the boys are over 1 billion, I believe all of them, Frankie and Sanji and Zoro, I'm pretty sure they're all over 1 billion, I could be wrong about that, and then Chopper's is like 1,000 berries, which is so funny that he keeps getting underestimated because they think he's a dog. And actually, this is something that's super interesting to me, is how fast everybody's bounties have climbed. I mean, obviously, they're now part of the crew of one of the 4 Emperors of the Sea, but I feel like the way that bounties have sort of scaled throughout this story has been progressively faster. Like, I remember when we first got like the first like 300 million berry bounty, which I believe was Doflamingo's bounty. I was mind blown. I was like, holy shit, that's so high. And it took a while before we scaled above 300 million. It took a while for us to get past that point. And then when we did, it was kind of just this landslide of like, holy shit, it's going, well, I guess it's not a landslide in that case. It's going upwards. It's a reverse landslide. It wasn't that long ago that I had my video on Zoe and I was talking about how crazy it was that Jack the Drought had 1 billion berry bounty, and now we have multiple characters within our main cast that have 1 billion berry bounty. It just happened in the span of like 200 chapters that all this went down. I haven't really talked about the bounty system a whole lot and my thoughts on it, but I've always found it super interesting because berries don't really measure like your actual power level. They more judge how much like clout you have, I guess. Which explains why Buggy has a bigger bounty than Luffy right now, but I'm gonna talk about Buggy in a second. I just think it's a really interesting way of sort of scaling characters within this story, because I feel like in a lot of other stories that I've encountered, especially within like anime and manga, the system is a lot more hardcore. Like, these are levels that you're advancing through, and when you get to the next one, it's like a milestone, and it's something that really indicates just how much stronger you are. And in a way, the bounty system has been that throughout One Piece, but in a more general sense, it's been more about how famous you are, because Oda does not really focus on like hard power levels. The closest I think he's ever come to that is like a Fruit Awakening with Luffy, the way he's advanced through the gears and everything. I think that's the closest he's ever really come to having like this power scale showing just how much stronger a character has become. But I feel like recently it's been a lot more about the clout that this crew now has. Obviously they're really strong, but I think that this really rapid increase of their bounties has more to do with the fact that Luffy has gained so much notoriety and the things they've achieved, rather than how dangerous they actually think that the pirates are, you know? But I really want to talk about Buggy now, because I love this side plot going on. It's so funny. I was freaking out at the end of my last video about how Buggy has been proclaimed one of the 4 emperors, which is still fucking hilarious. I was actually thinking about it yesterday because my mom is watching One Piece right now, and I was thinking about, she just watched not that long ago when Luffy and Buggy fight for the first time, and that entire encounter is totally recontextualized for me, because looking back on that now, that was a clash between 2 future emperors of the sea in like episode 6. I'm never gonna revisit early Buggy the same again, knowing what he would one day become as one of the strongest men on the sea. But the truth behind his whole situation is actually really funny, that Crocodile and Mihawk had like already teamed up. They were already doing shit, but Buggy owed money to Crocodile, and Crocodile was literally just like coming to collect everything that Buggy owed, and Buggy was literally just like, I will be your servant, I'll do anything, I can't pay you back, just don't kill me, I will do anything. And Crocodile was like, sure, alright, whatever, you can serve us, you can be my underling, whatever, I don't care. And then Buggy had all these posters printed in his underlings design day and made it look like he was the leader of this group. Like I said, I talked about this in my last video, but I, honest to God, think that Buggy's storyline is one of the most ingenious things happening in One Piece. How this throwaway character has basically stumbled his way in to the most powerful position he could have attained at this point in the story. Fucking crazy. And Crocodile and Mihawk are like, okay, actually, this is fine, after the initial anger wears off. They're like, this is actually fine. That way, in case anything happens, he takes all the heat. It's also funny that at this point in the story, Buggy himself is like fully aware of how insane his position is. And he's like, this is not the path I thought my life was gonna take. I don't know what's happening anymore. Honestly, I really, really hope that Buggy somehow becomes like super important in the story again, that he gets tied into like some big arc in some way. I mean, he has to, right? He has to. There's no way that so much has been set up with him and that he doesn't come back in some way, shape, or form. Give me another Impel Down, okay? Give me another arc where he is one of like the 3 main characters. I would kill someone for this, okay? Also, holy shit, oh my god, I totally forgot to talk about this in my last video, and I want to talk about it now, because holy shit, Sabo's storyline right now is nuts, and somehow I had a brain smooth moment where I totally forgot to talk about it in my last video, so I'm gonna talk about that right now. And what I missed in my last video was that he has been proclaimed like this flame emperor by revolutionaries all across the globe. The flames of revolution have swept across the globe, and they're all proclaiming Sabo to be the flame emperor. He's become this like symbol of hope for everyone after all the events that went down at the Reverie. Everyone is looking to him, and also he's been accused of killing King Cobra from Alabasta, and Vivi has gone missing. Bro, what the fuck? Dude, I can't believe I forgot to talk about this. This is crazy shit that's going down. And this whole event has gotten so out of hand that the revolutionaries themselves don't really know what's happening with Sabo. And so at one point, they get a call from him, and he's calling from some mysterious island, and he's talking about what he saw at the Reverie, and he clearly saw something to do with Im, like the emperor guy that was sitting on the throne, even though they kept saying that there is no one ruler of One Piece, or not One Piece, but of the world. There's no one ruler. And clearly Sabo saw something, and he's on the phone talking to the revolutionaries, and the world government hears him having this conversation, and they fucking Death Star his ass, bro. They fucking banished that entire country to the Shadow Realm. What the fuck was that? What? Dog, this is one of the craziest plot lines happening in One Piece so far, and it's so cool the way that this is unraveled throughout the story, where we had the Reverie however long ago now. It was right after Dressrosa, right? And now it's been unfolding what happened at the Reverie, and sort of the repercussions of everything that went down has been slowly unfolding for hundreds of chapters now. Ingenious storytelling to slowly take us through everything that happened there. And now Sabo, who knows what the fuck happened there? I hope he's not dead. I doubt that he's dead. But whatever this weapon is that literally fucking deleted, literally just Control-Alt-Delete, end task for that entire country, bro. What the fuck is happening? Like, I'm convinced that this has something to do with space. I've already made it clear my opinions on space. Something is happening there. There's the Lunarians, lunar, space, okay? Celestial dragons, celestial, space. Anaru is on the moon, space. There is something going on with space. Shut the fuck up. I am so right about this. Bro, they fucking have a Death Star, okay? That is what happened. There is a Death Star. Maybe that's not what it is. I want to believe that there's just a giant orbiting moon. Maybe it is the moon. Hold on. No, it's not the moon. Maybe it is. It's not. It's not the moon. Maybe it is. No, it's not the moon. It's something. It's something. I don't know what it is, but it freaked me out, dude. And I can't wait to find out what is going on with that plot line, because right now we've got some crazy shit going on with Vegapunk and everything, but that is the plot line that I am most interested in returning to right now. And while I'm on the topic of all the fallout of the Reverie, because another big thing that happened was the dissolution of the warlord system that happened a while ago. I will get to talking about the new pacifista models, I forget what they're called. But another big event that happened within all of this is that Boa Hancock, after all the dissolution happened and everything, Blackbeard came to basically recruit her to his side. And while this was happening, that was when Kobe was arriving at the same island at the same time, and there was some kind of big showdown that we didn't see happen, and Kobe got captured by Blackbeard. Dude, his plotline is not at all what I envisioned when he was first introduced into the story. Now he's been captured by a warlord of the sea, but the fact that he was even in that encounter at all speaks volumes for how much he has come as a character, and that entire encounter was fascinating to see how Blackbeard is trying to sort of expand his empire by recruiting these warlords, and they have fucking Kobe there, who is this character who has progressively become stronger, and he's in this encounter between a warlord and an emperor. Like, that is... I've talked about Kobe like a little bit on my channel, but I have loved seeing his progression as a character as opposed to all the characters that we have in like the Straw Hat Crew or something, because he's the only character that we really like truly honestly have super close connections with in the Navy that isn't like Garp or like one of the older, you know, admirals or something. This is just like a guy in the Navy who worked his way up, and it's really easy to look at the Navy and see the established forces within it and see the established members and everything and see sort of their ideologies and stuff, but this is a character who joined from the bottom ranks and has worked his way up, and we've been able to follow that personal journey, and it kind of humanizes that side in a way that I don't think can be accomplished just by introducing characters who have different motives and stuff and who are good people on the wrong side or in certain situations or whatever. This is a character who is clearly, you know, a lot like Luffy, and has done sort of the same thing Luffy has done in terms of getting stronger and working his way up the ranks. Super cool character. I always enjoy seeing him return, and this encounter to me is a really big moment for him. Also, Rayleigh shows up during that encounter, and Oh my god, dude. Gilf, listen, I'm adding him to the Gilf list. I have a Gilf list, okay? He is firmly, I mean, he's been on it for a while, but I haven't talked about him being a Gilf. Well, you can just slap him right on there, okay? He's part of the list. Speaking of Blackbeard, I'm also gonna talk about the fact that the Heart Pirates encountered the Blackbeard Pirates. We saw gender-bended law, which is quite something I was happy to see. But we have this big encounter. I wish we had seen more of the fight. It would have been a pretty cool fight to see those two crews clash. We cut away from it. I have a feeling we're really not going to actually see much of the fighting that goes on there. But the big thing that I took away from this encounter is that we see Aokiji with the Blackbeard Pirates. We had heard previously that Aokiji was like working with them, but the way it appeared in this scene was that Aokiji is like actually a crew member on the Blackbeard Pirates, which is fucking nuts. Also, why? Like, what? What a crazy direction for him to take. That is one of the biggest mysteries within the Navy, is like, why did he go from being an admiral to, like, Blackbeard is the literal direct opposite of the Navy. Like, why? I'm so confused by that. Anyway, let me cut back to the Straw Hats. There's a lot going on with them right now. They find Bonnie, and she's in this, like, vortex wave thing, and she comes flying out, and they go and save her. But then there's this giant robot shark, and then there's this giant body of armor, and you find out that Dr. Vegapunk is finally in the story. Dude, I was freaking out when we see the first body of Vegapunk and she says that she's Vegapunk. I lost my mind because this is a character. I think we heard about Vegapunk for the first time like way back in like Skype here or something crazy. It's been forever that this character has been talked about, and they've been brought up so many times throughout the story. I feel like they've been the most referenced character throughout the story that we had not met yet until this point. So it was a huge reveal, at least for me. I'm sure more people have been waiting years and years and years for Vegapunk to show up. This was still, it's only been like 5 months since I found out who he was, but still, it was a crazy moment for me. And like I said, the first person that says they're Vegapunk is actually only one of his 6 bodies that he's created to basically separate his mind because his brain is too big and he has to find ways to kind of section it off and dole out his work in different ways because he has too many things he wants to do, which is an immediate way of establishing sort of the kookiness of his character. And he ends up taking them to Egghead Island as Bonnie and Luffy and Jinbei work up through a different way. And Egghead Island, I gotta say, the design of it is pretty fucking cool. This is the most sci-fi that we've gotten within One Piece by far, and I've always loved when it sort of leans into the sci-fi side. I've talked about how much I like General Frankie and stuff, because it just adds this like total genre bending aspect to it. It's always been one of the more interesting things, how he's been able to mash like magic and sci-fi and fantasy and all these different genres and sort of mush them together into a story, and it works. And this is the most sci-fi we've gotten so far. It looks like this sci-fi wonderland with these crazy tubes circling around everywhere. You've got these inventions everywhere. You've got holograms. You've got crazy kooky architecture that looks like it's straight out of like a cartoon from the 90s. You've got shit like Bonnie picking up a fucking lightsaber, which was awesome. There's a machine that can like basically print food. There's all sorts of cool shit on this island, and it's really interesting because I feel like this is one of the islands that I don't know how long we're gonna be here, but you get a lot of really intricate world building and introducing a lot of ideas about what the limits of technology are within One Piece in a very short amount of time, and I've very much enjoyed that aspect of this arc so far. Before I get to like the big reveals that have happened so far in this arc, I want to talk about the fact that Vegapunk is basically inventing the internet. When you actually finally meet him, he's like this old man, and he's got this giant fucking head from the past, but now he uses like an apple core on his head, not an apple core, like the top of an apple, to connect to a radio tower that like has his brain stored in it. It's wild. But his whole like goal is to basically create this like group consciousness almost. That's kind of the way he describes it, I'm pretty sure. But basically it's just like this giant source of information that anybody can tap into and use. Which sounds a lot like the internet. I'm so interested in this character, not only because they were so mysterious for so long, but because Vegapunk is clearly planning to do something against the world government. We aren't entirely sure what it is yet, but it's super interesting that this character, as soon as we meet him, at first, at least to me, I assumed that he was like a government lapdog. I mean, I know he's had conversations with people that we love and care about that aren't necessarily government lapdogs, but the fact of the matter is, he's someone who, this entire story, we've associated with the world government and with, like, the Navy and stuff. And now we meet him, and he's immediately rebelling against them, and he's immediately siding with the Straw Hat Pirates. And that's such an interesting turn, and it's such an interesting story decision to make about this character who's been built up for a long time, you know? And it's like right after they meet Dr. Vegapunk, and he unveils a lot of information to them, which I'm gonna save that for last, but right after that, a bunch of the Navy people start showing up. Rob Lucci is there, which is awesome that he's back in the story. I can't remember his name, but the long-nosed guy, he's also there, and they're kind of trying to fight the Seraphim, because the Seraphim, there's like an order of control over who's like got the most authority, which is a really interesting way of like, again, reintroducing this sci-fi concept of like, these are not people, these are basically just machines that are given orders, which is basically like they said, like the erasure of the warlord system forever ago. This is a terrifying replacement to that, and in a way, it could be a lot more damaging than the warlord system if it's used incorrectly, and it's been established that this is just the first form of these Seraphim. I just remember what they're called, they're Seraphim. That's crazy that they're only gonna get stronger. There's children right now, and they look just like the 7 warlords. I really hope we get to see like all the other warlords that we haven't seen yet, the Seraphim of them. I hope we get to see like little baby Crocodile and Doflamingo and stuff. I think it'd be really cool to see their Seraphim and just see how strong they are too. And this, again, just adds to, like, the complexity of Vegapunk as a character right off the bat. Because you find out that Bonnie is there because Kuma is her dad, which is mind-blown again, yet again. And Kuma, we find out more information about him and sort of their relationship and sort of the steps he took to become the person that he is. And there's something going on with him, too. He's kind of going crazy. Like, the real body of Kuma is kind of losing his mind right now. I don't know what the fuck is going on with that. I don't think anybody does. But that's happening, but it adds this level of complexity, like I said, to Vegapunk himself, because he did that to Kuma at the government's behest. But like, right now, he's like, is he a good guy? Like, the fact that he was willing to do that, I guess, if he was being forced, like, can I blame him? But also, like, some of the shit he's done and some of the results of his inventions have led to really negative consequences so far, yet it seems like he has good intentions. So I don't know what to make of him. I don't know what to think about him right now. This is one of the more morally complex characters that we've been introduced to, I think, in this entire story, because he toes that line of, like, is he going too far with some of this stuff? Like, should he have invented that? But then, like, he clearly has good intention, but does intention always mean good? Like, even if your good intentions, if your actions result in something horrific, it doesn't make you are you still like a good person? Like, I don't want to get philosophical about this, but I think he's interesting in the way that he's brought up all these questions. Okay, let me get to the big shit that we get revealed during this arc. Number 1, there's this giant fucking suit of armor, and when they see it, Vegapunk reveals that the 100-year void, there was a civilization that was incredibly advanced in technology, that achieved this incredible height of like technological prowess and knowledge, and then for some reason they were at war with the world government and they lost, and that's what, like, what? Dude, I really hope we get like a big meaty flashback explaining everything that happens in the Void Century, because it just keeps getting crazy. Like, dude, it's gotta be something with space. I don't know how or why or like what that would mean, but somehow there's something with space. Why the fuck else would there be this like civilization on the moon protecting the moon? What? There has to be something about the Void Century that ties into that, right? I'm not crazy. In this suit of armor, 200 years ago, attacked sacred Marijoa and then like ran out of battery, I guess. But the reason that it was able to survive that long and keep operating that long is because this ancient civilization had like harnessed some kind of energy source that was super potent. Dude, I don't know what to make of any of this, but it is wild fucking information that we are being fed about like technological advanced civilization forever ago. How does that tie into anything that's happening right now? I don't, like, how is this gonna tie into the main story? I don't understand. I love it though, dude. I love this shit. It just makes it more mysterious. Oh, mwah, mwah. Chef's kiss for all the reveals for that. And it's super cool because we get a big flashback to O'Hara where we find out that the giants of Elbaf somehow like knew and they saved all the texts that these scholars had made, which again, the fucking Elbaf giants are also a giant mystery. Get it? Giant mystery, giants. That was a terrible joke, but you know what I mean. And then Dragon is there and he has the friendship with Dr. Vegapunk, and he's talking to him, and somehow Dragon is like trying to make like I guess it's like reparations for the civilization, but like what the fuck? What kind of ties does Dragon have to this civilization? Why does he care about any of this? And this is like I guess the basis for the revolution. And dude. Oh my god. And you find out that Saul is actually alive. He survived the encounter on O'Hara. Don't know how he survived that shit. But dude, this whole entire flashback on O'Hara and all of the ties that it has to this main story is fucking awesome to me, because that was a flashback that happened way back in fucking Water 7, Ennie's Lobby, around that time, when we got introduced to this entire concept. And before then, really all we had was that there was a 100-year void, and that there was the poneglyphs, and that Robin could read the poneglyphs, and there was some reason for it. And of course, we uncover her entire story. It gets unraveled to us. And that entire plotline with O'Hara kind of just, like, it ended with Robin's arc for a while. That was sort of where it was at, was sort of serving her personal emotional arc. That was sort of its entire purpose. But the way that it's come back and tied into everything is immaculate, and I've loved how it feeds us this information about the overarching story, yet still connects back to Robin, still connects back to our crew. It is just masterfully done, and it weaves in to this new character that we have, and Oda is just so good at that kind of stuff, at presenting you an event at some point in the story, finding a way to bring it back and give it more meaning and give more context, and yet not do it in just some random exposition dump, to do it in a way that makes sense and that ties back to everything. I love that shit. This is one of the best examples that we have of that in this story. On top of all of this, you also find out that devil fruits can be manufactured, because at some point you see, I think it's Jinbei Seraphim is using Senor Pink's devil fruit power, which was about to piss me off if Senor Pink was dead, but he's alive, and you find out that you can manufacture only, I think it's zones. I get the fruit types mixed up in my head. I believe it's a zone type. You can recreate them. You can manufacture them. And Vegapunk's been working on how to actually accomplish this, which is why there were 2 dragon type models and how Momo got his. And then it's actually a funny moment because Vegapunk's like, oh, it was a failure. And then they tell him like, oh, it actually worked. And he's like, what color was the dragon? They say it's pink, and he falls down. He's like, complete failure. It's so funny. But more than that, the big reveal with the fucking devil fruits. This just happened in 1069, which you find out that Vegapunk's theory about devil fruits is that all of the devil fruits are basically a cult, like they are creation made by anything that a human mind could imagine about like the possibilities of evolution, which is insane. It's crazy. Like that is an insane concept. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know. I don't have much to say about this because my mind is so blown. I've been thinking about it for like a week now since I read 1069. I still don't know what the fuck that could be leading to. I don't, like, is there some kind of fucking dream machine out there pumping out devil fruits? I don't know. That's a crazy reveal. I hope that theory is correct because the implications of that are insane. I don't know what the fuck is happening. But it's a big moment, so clearly it's meant to be woven into the main story at some point because it's treated as a huge reveal. It is a chapter-ending reveal. Dude, I don't know. I don't have any theories right now. I haven't read anything, any theories or anything. I am just freaking out about it internally because we still don't really know where devil fruits come from. Like, we don't honestly, truly know much about the process. And this, like, they've been central to the story since the beginning, and they've only become more and more important with the reveals of the devil fruit awakenings and everything. So dude, I cannot wait to get more information. I'm really hoping that we'll get fed that information throughout the rest of Egghead Island. I hope this isn't a mystery that we get planted here and then is answered 100 chapters from now. I mean, I wouldn't be that upset, but also it would be great to find out because I'm at the point now where I can't just read ahead and potentially get answers, so I am desperate, okay? I'm pretty fucking desperate. Anyway, in chapter 1070, the most recent chapter, we have Luffy and Lucci fighting, and Luffy's kind of beating his ass because, of course, there's no fucking way that a character that he already beat once is gonna beat Luffy in his Joy Boy form. No fucking chance that's happening. And that's also when we find out about the devil fruit, the fact that you can manufacture them and everything. But right at the very end is really when we get the big thing that's happening at the end of this chapter, is that Kizaru is there, and they're bringing in literally every single Navy ship they can because they're trying to capture Vegapunk. And dude, like shit went from 0 to 100 so fast in this arc because Wano ended, how long is Egghead Island right now? It's like not even 20 chapters. I could be wrong about that, but it's not been long. It's not like super long or anything. And we're already getting an admiral showing up. A bunch of fucking Navy forces are showing up. We've got the Seraphim, who are as strong as warlords, all converging. We've got Vegapunk. Like, so much shit is already going down on Egghead Island. This arc is shaping up to be fucking amazing, and I am here for it, dude. I am here weekly. Catch it up, man. I am so excited. As chapters come out, I'm going to be making videos for them. They're not going to be nearly as long, obviously, as the videos I currently make, but I'm going to be doing chapter by chapter discussions about anything new that comes out, and I'll be giving just general thoughts and, just kind of talking to you guys about what's going down. So I'm really excited for those. Those will come out, basically day of the chapter releasing. I think that there's a break this week, so it'll probably be a couple weeks before I get another, new One Piece video for, new content or something. But I have plenty of One Piece videos in the roster that I'm going to be working on. In the meantime, I'm going to be starting my One Punch Man series this week at some point. I have a bunch of really fun ideas for videos that I've kind of been sitting on. I kind of been scheming. I kind of been cooking a little bit in the background. And you guys will get those videos soon because I'm all caught up and I'm really sad. I've been making videos so much for 3 weeks straight, just reading and making videos, and I'm sad that it's over because I have had so much fun making these videos and just experiencing the story with everyone, and I continue to do that now, but it's not going to be, as compact, I guess, and I can't go through it as fast, which I am a little bit sad about, but I am also excited to now be sort of on the same step as everyone and to be experiencing it literally alongside of you. But anyways, guys, I really do hope that you've been enjoying your holiday seasons. I've had a great time making this journey with you, and I cannot wait to see you guys for the next chapter whenever that comes out, and obviously all the other videos. There's a lot of stuff happening before then, so I guess I can't wait to see you tomorrow, probably. And until then, I hope you're happy and healthy, I hope you're taking care of yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!